Derailed opens at the Illinois State Penitentiary, the guards preparing to open the cells so the prisoners can have yard time. As the inmates go about their recreational activities in the prison yard, the camera pans back along the cells where one man sits, only his back and then his jaw visible as he lights a cigarette. He then begins writing in a notebook, "The morning it all began like any other morning." The inmate's writing switches to a voiceover by Charles Shine, Clive Owen, a successful commercial executive at JMD/March. After dressing, Shine is in the kitchen, helping his young adolescent daughter, Amy, Addison Timlin, with her book report as the family hastily sets about eating breakfast. We see Shine's wife, Deanna, Melissa George, administering a glucometer test to check Amy's blood sugar and preparing an insulin injection for the teenager, showing that Amy is diabetic. Shine arrives at the train station in pouring rain just in time to see his train leave without him, forcing him to wait for the next one. As he rides this train into the city, he finds he is only one of several men in the train car taking discreet glances at the shapely legs of a blonde woman as she sits reading her newspaper. The train conductor comes in to take tickets, and Shine finds to his great dismay and humiliation that he forgot to buy his train ticket at the station, and he let Deanna take the cash out of his wallet. Suddenly the blonde woman that all the men have been watching, Lucinda Harris, Jennifer Aniston, offers to front the cash for Shine's ticket. A grateful Shine goes to sit with the woman and strikes up some small talk, starting with a promise to pay her back. Any conversation almost immediately turns flirtatious. As the two get off at their station, the same one, Shine promises he'll pay her back the $9 if she's on the same train tomorrow. Shine arrives at work, immediately getting caught up in small talk with a male room clerk he's acquainted with named Winston, RZA. The next day on the train, Shine meets Lucinda and pays her back the money she laid out. The two spend the train ride in more small talk about their backgrounds and upbringing. Lucinda talks about having been an army brat that lived in many places. At work, Shine hits the Avery Price website and reads Lucinda's profile page, which lists her as one of the company's premier financial advisors, with an impressive list of recognitions, along with a degree from Stanford. Shine is meeting Lucinda for lunch where she talks more about her life. She says that her husband's demanding work schedule leaves the two of them with very little time for each other, and Lucinda finds comfort in having a beautiful young daughter. That night they're sharing drinks and kisses together at a bar. Finally hailing an empty cab, the two ride through the city in search of a hotel, when suddenly Lucinda asks the driver to stop, and tells Shine she can't go through with it. The two get out and Shine tells her he knows how she feels. But as it happens, they're standing across the street from what appears to be the perfect hotel, and as Lucinda looks at Shine, the spark in both their eyes is relit. Shine pays for a room, declining the use of the hotel safe. Once in the room together, Shine and Lucinda waste little time before flirting leads to kissing, and kissing leads to making out, and soon they're all over each other, undressing each other to have sex. But their little tryst quickly becomes an unwelcome menage a trois when a burly man in a heavy coat and ski cap comes into the room, mockingly chastising them for trusting the hotel's dangerously flimsy locks instead of using the slip chain. Pointing a gun, he quickly relieves the two of their wallets and cash. But the mugger has more on his mind than mere robbery. He looks at their driver's licenses, immediately starting to call the two of them by name, making a mockery of how both Shine and Lucinda are both married, and both cheating on their spouses. He pistol whips Shine to the ground, bloodying his face, and kicks him in the side several times. Turning back to Lucinda with a leer, the mugger gets on top of her and rapes her, enjoying her frightened pleas. Shine comes back to, finding Lucinda sitting on the bed, holding her slip and part of the bed sheet against herself, staring off into space. More remorseful for her than himself, he wants to call the police and bring Lucinda to the hospital, even at the sake of Deanna finding out what he was doing with Lucinda in the hotel in the first place. Lucinda curtly, but desperately, begs Shine to just get her away from the hotel and forget what happened. Deanna is just as worried, as Shine sits in a bath, back home. Deanna is tending to Amy when Shine's phone rings. He answers, and is stunned and shocked to find the man who mugged him and raped Lucinda on the phone. The man smoothly but menacingly tells Shine that he's checking to see if Shine kept his promise not to call the police. He demands $20,000 in cash from Shine, telling him where and when to deliver it. Shine sees Lucinda at the reception area of her workplace. He's concerned as to how she's been holding up after not seeing her on the train. Lucinda admits she called in sick the whole week and hasn't eaten or slept well since she was raped. At home, Shine agonizes several long minutes, staring at the electronic alert system for Amy's dialysis machine, before making a withdrawal from his savings account. Shine is heading toward the spot he'd been told to for the payoff when he's rudely bumped by a man, Exhibit, Dexter, who blames Shine for the incident, but then quickly reveals that he's working with LaRoche and says he'll bring Shine to him. Shine offers to simply hand Dexter the money instead, but Dexter rudely declines and pushes Shine down the alley and through a door where LaRoche is waiting. He takes the briefcase and viciously belts Shine in his stomach before leaving with Dexter. November arrives, and Elliot is looking over a preliminary take on another commercial Shine wrote, admitting it looks poorly done. Shine is walking home when he gets a call on his cell phone. It's LaRoche again. He wants another loan. This time for $100,000. Shine's angry rebuff only lasts a moment before he wants to know how LaRoche got his cell phone number. His home phone was on his driver's license, which LaRoche took in the mugging, but his cell phone wasn't listed. Shine turns to Winston for help. The street-smart Winston, who'd been in prison and knows how to survive under desperate measures, is who Shine sees as his last hope to get rid of LaRoche. Winston drives Shine to the location, arriving an hour early. He's carrying an unloaded gun to brandish as a scare tactic, and he hands Shine a piece of metal shaped into a makeshift knife, the shank Winston used in his initiation rite in prison. He gives Shine a rundown of the plan to confront and frighten away LaRoche. But the loud crash of smashing glass shows that LaRoche doesn't scare anywhere near as easy as Winston predicted. Winston is dead from a gunshot to his head. LaRoche is there a second later, grabbing the envelope with the money LaRoche offered to pay Winston for his help, and tells Shine it's his fault for bringing Winston in the first place. Completely out of options at this point, Shine promises to do everything LaRoche demands, and rushes to the address given him. He finds the apartment door open, Lucinda's keys still in the door, and LaRoche inside. In the living room, Dexter holds a gun to Lucinda's head. Shine gives LaRoche the briefcase with the money, and he and Dexter take a moment to terrorize him and Lucinda before leaving, telling the two of them that they now have their lives back. A broken man with no spirit left, Shine tells Deanna everything at home. How and why the 7 years of life savings they scrimped together is completely gone. But at Avery Price, the receptionist gives Shine his first hint that something is dreadfully wrong. Lucinda Harris, the real Lucinda Harris, walks by. When Shine tells the receptionist that she saw him talking with Lucinda in the reception area, she says that he was talking with a temp worker who did phone work for Lucinda. The temp's first name was Jane. Shine stakes out the train terminals, finally spotting Lucinda disembarking from one. He follows her discreetly from a distance this time. He's just about to confront her when a businessman rushes up to her. They make brief small talk and an arrangement to meet up later before the man gets into a cab. Shine hangs back and waits, watching Lucinda slowly stroll down the street toward a car where a man stands. Everything falls into place as the man turns around. Lucinda's boyfriend is none other than Philippe LaRoche. She's part of the whole scheme with him and Dexter, the hook to draw unsuspecting businessmen in, the promise of her body that sets up marks, like Shine himself, for the loss of their whole life saving. Shine knows that the businessman who'd made the arrangement with Lucinda just before must be her and LaRoche's next mark. Shine refuses to take it anymore. He concocts a plan to get back at LaRoche and Lucinda. He knows that Lucinda will take the next mark to the same hotel, and LaRoche will enter the same way. He rents a room at the hotel, on the top floor, the same floor where he knows the mark will be brought to, and begins making preparations. Creeping up from behind, Shine clubs LaRoche over the head with a heavy wooden table lampstand as he's busy using a driver's license to open the hotel door where Lucinda and her mark are preparing to undress. Taking LaRoche's gun, Shine throws him inside the room, confronting Lucinda and the mark himself, exposing the entire scheme to the bewildered man, proving he's the one telling the truth as opposed by Lucinda, by accurately predicting exactly how the mark and Lucinda met, by accident on the train. LaRoche starts to come to at that point, begrudgingly impressed with Shine for upping his game. Shine demands back all the money LaRoche extorted from him, and even Lucinda begs LaRoche to just give the money back to Shine so they can get out of there. The mark, still frightened for his own life, grabs for the gun, wrestling for control of it. In the struggle, the gun goes off, and Lucinda is hit. LaRoche recovers the gun and fires several shots, killing the mark. As Dexter throws his shoulder against the door, trying to bust in, LaRoche levels his gun at Shine, and fires, but the gun is empty. Shine is faster, and he blasts Dexter with several shots, killing him. Shine gets to his feet. LaRoche, Dexter, and the mark are all on the floor, all shot several times, and Lucinda lays on the bed, a bloody bullet wound in her midsection. He hears a police siren approaching. Shine walks out of the hotel unnoticed, having recovered all of the $120,000 LaRoche and Lucinda stole from him. The one sum of money unaccounted for is the $10,000 that Shine told the accountant at work was for an aspirin commercial, but Shine really used it to pay Winston. Elliot resignedly says that he'll start legal proceedings. Shine is doing his community service sentence for embezzlement, teaching a class of inmates at the state prison. The inmates all hand in their notebooks as Shine tells them that a quiz is on their desks. Shine will be reading the stories while the inmates do the quiz. Shine begins reading the story, which begins, "The morning it all began like any other morning," but when he finished reading the story, he went into the laundry room. Following a sound of something being tapped against metal pipes, he finds his way to where LaRoche is waiting for him. LaRoche appears to be blind in one eye from the bullet he took, but he's alive, and hungry to avenge Lucinda's death. Kneeing Shine in the stomach and shoving him against a wall, LaRoche gloats at how Shine ended up in this prison. But Shine tells LaRoche that he didn't simply end up here, he chose to come here. Winston's shank slips out of Shine's sleeve into his hand, and he jams it into LaRoche's middle, twisting it several times. Detective Church is waiting for Shine at the front gate. Shine's story is that he went to use the bathroom when some guy jumped him with a shank. The movie closes with Amy, doing well on the new medication.
Please subscribe for more movie.